Mars conjunct Neptune. Oh my God, the sea god. This is your AstroShaman inspiring brilliance with spiritual accountability and occult practices. Ladies and gentlemen, check out our membership if you're interested in that spiritual accountability. And this is the transit with Mars and Pisces. This is the spiritual guru. In Vedic astrology, this is happening in an instructor called, or constellation in the sky called Uttara Bhadrapada. And this is something magical. I have my top 8 mystic desires that you're going to want to stay tuned to, and actually go ahead and hit that thumbs up and that likes button. I do appreciate you. So number 1 is going to be the end of drowning the masculine sensitivities. Okay, I've seen this even in Mexican culture. The women talk about it and they're like, man, like if there's anything that happens, we go through our divorce, and what we wish we allowed is for our men to be sensitive, to be creative, so that I can also lower my masculine shield and I can start to be sensitive myself. So the women not allowing that, they're not allowing those same sensitivities to themselves. And women are getting sick of this toxic masculinity, and they're starting to realize, this is my own delusion, in a sense where my mom and her mom and all of our subconscious programming and the women in our family have been basically killing the sensitivity of men and looking and viewing it as weak and making our men feel weak, but keeping that hidden. And while it stays hidden, it hurts both, and it creates endings, which is what Pisces is about. So Mars, one of the top 8 mystic desires is for the feminine energy, which could be me as a male, to start to also embrace the positive sides and stop being stop viewing grace and compassion and gentleness within the masculine as weak. And this is also going to give us creativity advances via, I have my notes right here, via gentle dissolution of popular structures, caging servants of humanity. And this is that servants of humanity, the caging, this is that fact that Saturn has been in Pisces. So we are trying to actually free the people from their cages around the things that we said. So number 2, okay, number 2 mystic desires that I have, top 2 mystic desires right here, is ending the toxic competition. Okay, well, Mars is a very competitive sign, but in Pisces it's like, look, I'm trying to end this. I'm trying to get us to a place where we remove all the boundaries of competition and realize that this is not helpful. It's not helpful to compete. Okay, this is the lower frequencies of Mars, right? And so when I look at this, it's about looking at the toxicness of competition and starting to put an end to passive aggression, okay, as a way to control, let me get my notes a little higher, as a way to control the divine masculine by perfecting the elites, perfecting idols, perfecting people in the Hollywood industry, and looking at them as they could do no wrong. Obviously we see that's untrue. Looking at them as they're untouchable. This delusion, one of the top 8 mystic desires, is to end the delusion of seeing anybody as perfect, seeing anybody as better than the rest, seeing anybody as inferior. And so especially when it comes to masculine lead roles, because again, this energy is very external. So we're going to need to start to learn to appreciate the external to get deeper into our inner beauty. Okay. Now, top 3 that I have is reverse engineering your sexual fantasies, where this will show you what your sexual fantasies are and help you understand that even if you were to reach the end of the rainbow and get the pot of gold, or the pot of sexual desires, the pot of sexual fantasies fulfilled, you won't be fulfilled anymore. And that's the part of Mars connecting with Neptune, where this desire is to get that fulfillment, but that real fulfillment you're looking for is actually the inner wisdom, the inner knowing, right? Like aligning with your own spiritual being at a level that makes you feel a sense of nirvana, okay, moksha, connected with God. And that's what's happening right here. So reverse engineering that sexual fantasy to transcend morally disruptive and egoic blocks that Mars will want to kind of force its way through and assert. So what this will kind of turn out to is really no more cheating and no more deceit in our relationships. Because what happens with these is you can't get these fantasies fulfilled, and you put these impossible expectations on your partner to fulfill X, Y, and Z fantasy. They start cheating because they can't fulfill that. Now that's not the only reason they're going to cheat, so don't look at that. But they start cheating and they start being more deceitful and they start lying. And what we're doing, one of the top 8 mystic desires for number 3 is we're going through an awakening on what do we really want. And what we really want is sacred sexuality, sacred forms of intimacy. So we have the retreat coming up on the sacred intimacy. So I want to say thank you. Enjoy that soon. Top number 4. Okay, number 4 in Vedic astrology. This is happening simultaneous with Jupiter and a nakshatra called Kritika. So it's this energy that's very egoic and in all sincerity, very much going straight for its desires, very much cutthroat. Literally, it represents a knife, and it looks to cut through the parts of our identity. All right, which Jupiter is the ruler. You have to understand Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces. So we have to look at what's going on with Jupiter. And this is the part of Taurus, all right, in Western astrology that is very direct, very action oriented, very ambitious, very much strong in its belief. Okay. And so what's happening with this, we're slicing into the depths of the spiritual realms, all right, to derive dedicated focus from the celestial identity within us. And so Mars allows us to go super deep, but not in a fiery way. This particular nakshatra is coming with the destructive force of water, which can also just permeate, dissolve, and sink deeper into the being. And this is really the top number 4 that I have. Really understanding the dedication and focus necessary, and even delusion to get so close to our celestial identity. Not me being me and all of my traumas and conditions and beauties and blessings and forms of grace that I express as Pernell Bobby, but what is the soul sitting in the seat of this physical body? So that's number 4, okay, and the top 8 mystical desires. Now number 5, top 8 mystical desires, what I have is breakthrough in the Hollywood sex industry, the sex trafficking. All right, we have a grand desire to stop allowing our children to be touched, to stop allowing the youth to be raised up and taken from the moment they step into the industry by the elites and put into very uncomfortable situations and environments to gain their dreams, to have their fantasies fulfilled when it comes to, I want to be a star, I want to be famous, I want to be this, and giving, X, Y, and Z that you need, and letting it come with some disgusting habits, right? We're letting go of these immoral habits or how we are negatively impacting our children. It's disgusting, it's need to end, and this is one of the mystical desires that all of us are going to align with at a spiritual level. And so this is also going to be with sex workers, as well as really the mystical desire is to tap into the collective pain right now and actually free the children, and understand that the children that we're trying to free and that we cage in the first place is our own inner child. Okay, it's our own inner wounds, it's our own inner bliss, excitement, and joy that fell into the fantasy, and this started to externally manifest. So we need to be able to address this as the external, because Mars is an external energy, in order to get to the Neptune and Pisces internal. So this is the Mars conjunct Neptune energy that we really want to line into. So that's not top 5 mystical desires. Top 6 mystical desires is going to be a tremendous healing from the dragon realms. And so I asked the dragons, it's like, which one do you want? And they want you to look into the eyes of this particular dragon. All right. And what this dragon is really saying is enabling your life to flow with loving force. Loving force. This is fire and water. Okay. Preparing for change, to move forward very quickly, to expect the unexpected, and to have fun. And so this dragon really comes into life when we need to have a little more fun in order to embrace what's next. So understand that this is a water and a fire dragon, and Neptune is about the water leviathan, right? Neptune in Pisces is Poseidon. It's all the sea creatures, and this one of the sea creature is a very powerful water dragon, but with the element of fire to energize and vitalize, but also to do it in a compassionate and soft way. So having fun right now is going to bring us to the infinity of our own being. And if you know where you're going to be pushed forward in the most beautiful and graceful way. Okay, so this is one of my top 8 mystical desires, to align with the energies that are supporting us, like this fire and water dragon, like Poseidon, like sea creatures, and to do it in an emotionally powerful way. Right, so this is one of my top 8 mystical desires. And if you don't know where you're going, I would, if I were you, anticipate some unexpected changes, anticipate some unexpected, if you don't understand your desires, if you don't understand how you deeply want to connect with the wisdom of your soul, then I would expect life and you to go ahead and be prepared, all right, for some unpreparable things. But it's going to actually happen for your highest good, and that's what they want you to know. So they say, don't worry, okay, as you hit the thumbs up and the likes button. Now, top 7 mystical desire that I have right here is the rebirth of sacred sexuality via intention and spiritual/emotional connection, purifying the world of porn, like I said, aka stop watching it, okay, stop feeding that frequency, and opening the floodgates to sexual healing. And so this is a deeply sexual healing energy and transit with Mars conjunct Neptune. Mars in Pisces wants to bring things to an end before it steps into Mars in Aries, which is happening in a few days, right? 5 days or so from this video. And so it wants to, before we go into a brand new cycle, it wants to end, because Hollywood, Neptune in Pisces is Hollywood. Neptune in Pisces is Hollywood, and it's the delusion and the fantasies that we've aligned with. And now we have this desire to no longer externalize that and internalize. How do we allow the abuse to go so far within sexual relationships and interactions? How do we allow narcissism to basically hit these all-time new highs, where we understand that people totally have us under their grip and feeling inferior and under their subjugation of control through, you know, being able to create a certain feeling that is aligned with a fantasy you've had, whether that's suffocation, whether it's BDSM, whether it's, you know, just flat out giving somebody some good ooh, wee, you feel me? And where Mars is like to cut through these unconscious desires to the point where we start getting into sacred sexuality, and we start having intentions, and we start respecting our own physical temple and body, and as a result we naturally respect our partners, and we start actually communicating our fears and what we do desire in a way that is not deceitful and not behind an illusion of what we really mean versus what we're doing. And they're going to start to find a way to match at the soul level. And so again, sacred sexuality, we're doing this retreat intimacy. By Friday, I'm going to make some more announcements with Eileen. It's our next retreat coming up on how you can go ahead and get involved in the process for the retreat. So if you're interested in the retreat, drop down I'm interested down below. If you just made it this far and maybe it's not the retreat but you're enjoying this video, drop the Pisces symbol with a wave. All right, letting you know that you're washing away all these negative emotions, you're washing away all these traumas, you're washing away and bringing behind it the grace, the love, the joy, the bliss, the simplicity, the compassion, the gentleness, the sensitivity, all right, to our soul being. Now and that's what I have. That was number 8. Okay, that was my top 8 mystical desires. Now I have some quick remedies for you, and I'm gonna shoot through this. If you want deeper remedies, tell me, say email down below in the chat. If you say email, I'm going to go ahead, and if I get at least 3 people to say email in the chat, I will email on the email list remedies that are deeper for this particular transit. If you don't, then I'm not going to do it. But if you are on the email list and you want this, let me know, and I'll do it. Okay, but quick ones: alone time, fire rituals, introspection. These are remedies. Karma yoga, which is selfless service. Okay, go feed birds, go feed an aquarium, go feed fishes in a pond. And a portal meditation. All right, Pisces is about going beyond the boundaries and barriers. So if you can't get in a plane and fly outside of your country, then you can go into a meditation and go through a portal. Literally open a door in your mind and walk through it and expect the unexpected and be okay with that. And understand that the last thing is that this Mars and Neptune is going to destroy a lot of things, but it's going to destroy it softly. So it's not going to happen in a way like Noah's Ark, where the water is coming and it's flooding and you got to take your 2x2x2 pairs and move on. It's not going to happen that way. It's going to happen in a way where it kind of soaks through our fears, it soaks through the desires, and it helps us permeate deep into our soul. In a way where we're not grinding against the grain, rather, and not happening by fire and by force, but by fire and water, which is the occult parts. Water is the occult parts of fire, so it can show fire how to be in its godly celestial identity that one of the top 8 mystical desires was about. So go ahead and hit the thumbs up and the likes button. I want to say thank you if you enjoyed this Mars conjunct Neptune transit. Drop the wave down below again, letting you know you're washing away and bringing all the pain away and bringing in the grace, bringing in the love, bringing in the sensitivity, bringing in the joy. Thank you for being here. This is your AstroShaman inspiring brilliance with spiritual accountability and occult practices. Join our membership if that's something interesting to you. And we're going to be doing Qigong and Tai Chi and learning about the chakras and learning about sounds related to your organs and, you know, vroom, vroom, stimulating pineal gland. And it's just about, you know, these practices at this point. It's about, do you do them, and do you do them with consistency? That's what the membership is really helping us with the most. So if you're interested in that, you know, just go ahead and say so, or you could just obviously join and email. If I get at least 3 emails, remember, if I get at least 3 people saying email in the chat, I will email the remedies on a more like boom point for this particular Mars and Pisces, Neptune and Pisces, Mars conjunct Pisces Mars conjunct Neptune, Neptune conjunct Mars transit. Thank you for the thumbs up and the likes button. I'll see you soon, baby. Subscribe if you're brand new, and if you are a returning viewer, I want to say thank you, because you are the one who makes this channel. You are the real support, and I love you.